producer will be able to produce without detrimentally affecting the national price of milk. The second number will be the national market access fee. This will be the deduction from the milk check per hundredweight for those who do want to utilize an expansion of their milk above and beyond their allowable milk marketings. Importantly though, we apply this fee only to new milk. After these two numbers are announced, producers have a choice. Number one, you can stay within your allowable milk marketings. In normal times, this means you can produce 1.5 to 3% higher than you did during the same period last year. Or number two, you can expand above the allowable milk marketings. You will have to pay whatever the market access fee is set at that time, and you also receive no dividends. With number one, staying under your current allowable milk marketings, you're going to get money above and beyond the current milk price because it's going to be paid back by farmers who choose to expand as your bonus. With number two, you are earning that higher base or more shares for next year and paying the fee to do it. For those who choose to expand, they will pay that fee set by the board. For the first quarter, they go over their allowable milk marketings, they pay no fee. This means we will give them 3 months to grow their milk production with no penalty. After that, they will pay the fee for 12 months or 4 full quarters. After that year of paying the fee, the expanded dairies will have a higher base, which they have earned by paying the fee for more market access. On the other hand, dairies that choose to live within their allowable milk marketings for the quarter would receive that bonus check. And that check, again, comes from the fees paid by the producers who did expand, and it will be divvied proportionally by pounds produced or hundredweights produced to the producers who did not expand. The key to this program is that dairy farmers now have an incentive to produce milk for the market instead of making all the milk they can and finding out what they are paid after it is sold. The next few slides are the technical parts of our program. One thing we aim to correct is how market signals are relayed back to the farmer. We are currently a very regulated and insulated industry. Think about when we're sitting at the $9.90 support price. Basically, everybody across the country gets the same milk check, especially in the upper Midwest. That is, even when we have a huge milk surplus, if your neighbor finds a way to add another 1 million pounds to his tank and add to national production numbers, he gets the same price as everybody else. In other industries, new businesses need to either operate at a lower cost or produce products with better value to gain customers and earn market access. Once their market share is established, that business needs to simply stay even to keep its current customers. If it wants to gain more market share, it's going to again need to either lower its prices or add more value to its product. This is what that market access fee is meant to replicate, lowering your price to gain the market share. The allowable milk marketings, or base as some call it, that each dairy will have be assessed to each individual dairy producer. Producers with multiple facilities can pool their bases together or will pool their bases into one. 2 or more producers, 2 or more facilities could combine their bases into one location if they choose. Bases can be transferred to operation by filing it with the FSA. Basically, instead of paying market access fees in the pool, you would pay them to another farmer instead. This promotes using milk that already exists instead of adding more milk to our national milk tank. We don't want a race for base scenario, and we need less milk than we have right now. One of the fairest ways to establish this might be to take a 3-year average of the past years and reduce from there, but definitely look at lots of other ideas on how to first establish this initial base. So the market access fee we talked about earlier will be set each quarter by the advisory board. The board will look at current economic conditions, consider our domestic needs, any foreseen government purchases for their programs and nutrition programs, and then exports or other upcoming opportunities. For producers utilizing the market access fee, they will be able to budget it easily, because once it's locked in for the 4 quarters they use it, it can't go higher. If it drops, typically meaning we would need more milk in the U.S., the producer would receive the lower amount for that time. Deduction would be at the processor level, and the processors would send the market access fees to the local FSA office. The program would be administered by the FSA, much like MILC is now. And we've heard a lot of criticism about this lately, and we're open to other changes, but we're just saying that if FSA can do MILC, obviously this program can operate in a very similar way. Each dairy producer would operate on a 12-month rolling base that turns over quarterly, and any new dairy would begin establishing their base after the first full month of operation. The reason we would need congressional approval for this is because the program would require 100% participation of producers. Our program will cost less than 2 cents per hundredweight for malt dairymen to administer, but the government and taxpayers may save money in the form of less or perhaps even the elimination of MALC checks and using government support programs only in times of real emergency instead of every couple of years. Our advisory board will be made up of 6 regions, 2 producers each from the West, Midwest, South, Central, Southeast, and Northeast. Beyond our 12 producers who lead the board, there will also be representatives from the consumer sector, the dairy products firm, and a fluid milk bottler. Additionally, the dairy economists will be appointed to help advise the board. The 2 areas sometimes levied as criticisms of the program are about imports and exports, along with the government's involvement. Frankly, I believe the import-export concern is a red herring. The first thing we need to do is to get milk prices in the United States to a profit level for dairymen, because if we don't, the issue of imports and exports will be irrelevant. If the profit level attracts imports, so be it. We cannot survive without profits. DPSP will not cause an increase in imports. When the world economy turns around, hopefully starting by the second half of next year, growth in world demand may return to an annual growth rate of 2% plus, and world dairy product prices will increase, opening up opportunities for U.S. exports. New Zealand cannot meet this growth opportunity by themselves. Some also question the government's involvement with the DPSP. Whether we like it or not, the government is already involved with the dairy industry now in all the production of all types of agriculture. USDA already carries out nearly all farm programs in the United States. Along those lines, while some producers value their MILC program more than others, I'm not aware of any, well actually I've heard a few, or at least claims, who do not cash the MILC checks that they receive from the government. Some have also commented that the DPSP does not cure all the ills of the dairy industry, and we definitely recognize that, and that's by design. The folks we've been in contact with from the beginning of this effort on Capitol Hill have told us that any dairy initiative that requires a farm bill will not even get a good look, let alone a chance of being passed. The DPSP does not require opening up the farm bill. It is a complement to all the current existing industry and government programs. Currently, the DPSP is the only bona fide, detailed, and legitimate proposal for consideration today that will reduce the volatility of milk prices, which have been so hard on our nation's dairy farmers. We are finalizing our draft of this bill at this time. I've been asked to address, originally our program called for a fee on all milk, and I want to provide some history on that. After presenting drafts of our program to many dairy farmers, milk cooperatives, the National Milk Producers Federation, task force, educators, economists, and dairy media from coast to coast, we made the decision to improve the program by applying the market access fee on new milk only. The original all milk concept disadvantaged individual dairy farms and those who do not have multiple dairy facilities. One of the National Milk Task Force concerns with our original all milk provision included, and I quote, there would be a huge incentive to build new farms rather than expand existing farms, since the market access fee would be spread over all milk, not just marginal increases. We are confident that the new milk option is superior to the all milk or a choice of new or all milk. Alright, I'm wrapping up. As you can see, since March, we've been gaining widespread support for the Dairy Price Stabilization Program. The DPSP addresses the peaks and valleys of the milk prices, the extreme highs and lows, which make it so difficult for those in the dairy industry to manage. In closing, if you remember 3 things about our presentation today on the DPSP, I would suggest that they be: the DPSP could be put into place without affecting any current dairy programs. Implementing the DPSP does not require opening the farm bill. The DPSP is the only new, detailed program available that can have a positive effect on mailbox prices now and in the future. Thank you for your attention.